excuse me, mister. Mister. Ooh. Let's have a talk. Ooh, for a minute.
Have you seen my dog?
I have not, but maybe if you answer these few questions, I'll help you.
Okay.
So, question number 1. What do you think of this trial with Meursault?
Meursault? I know that boy. I know he's innocent. I know it. You know it. We all know it.
Now, how do you know Meursault personally?
Well, we live in the same apartment complex. And I've talked to him a couple times, every so often.
Okay. So what do you guys talk about?
Well, I was able to confide in him my regrets, my feelings, and he was able to console me in my time of distress.
Interesting. So why are you so close to this dog?
I got this dog when my wife died a long, long time ago.
She probably died when she looked at you.
Excuse me? Have you seen yourself?
Have you seen a mirror recently?
Ah!
Alright, thank you. You've been a big help for this.
Thank you. Wait, have you seen my dog?
I have not. I'm sorry. No, goodbye.
Have you seen my dog?
I'm putting in for my cameraman because, he quit because Solomano intruded his personal space, whatever that is. Let's ask some random person. How about this person right here? Hello, sir. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Monsieur Christ. How can I help you today?
I just have a few questions about this trial of Meursault.
No problem.
What's your opinion on it?
I believe this is a trial by God. A test given by him to test Meursault.
Okay. Do you know this Meursault?
I met him once, only once, during my visit as a chaplain to his cell. As a friend, of course.
Okay. Why'd you go there?
Well, to offer him guidance, to try to purify and help his soul to the afterlife before he is sentenced to death. For he can have a merciful judgment by God himself.
And how did this interaction go? Good? Bad?
It went not as expected.
How so?
It ended with his hands around my neck,
Ooh.
strangling me. Because I believe he was so affected by the words of God, he ended a state of February.
So what do you think is gonna be his fate?
I take upon it's my duty as a chaplain to help him achieve greatness under God, to seek salvation under God himself before his time.
Before his time of what?
For his time of judgment upon his death.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. May God be with you, sir.
May God be with you too. Alright, let's try to find someone who's less religious. Alright, now we're on an adventure through downtown. Home to lowlifes and criminals as far as the eye could see. Oh, speak of the devil.
Sup?
Sup? What's your name?
My name is Retrial.
Alright, Raymond. What do you think of this trial against Meursault?
I mean, I think it's pretty dumb. We all know he's innocent, so why is this even here? What are we even doing?
You act like you know him.
Heck yeah, I do. He's my friend.
Okay, how do you know him?
I asked him for some help, and like a real homie, he came through, so.
How long have you actually known Meursault?
Not very long, but I know he's a real one.
Alright, so what are some activities you do together?
We write letters,
What kind of letters?
We wrote a pretty good letter, like I gotta say. It was pretty good. It was a love letter. He helped me write it.
Was it to him?
Nah, it was to this girl.
Okay. So do you think he's gonna be claimed guilty or not guilty?
Of course he's not gonna be guilty. He is innocent. It's all the other people's fault. We all know that.
Who's this other people you speak of?
The Arabs, they're just following me around because I beat up his sister, but he just needs to leave me alone. He needs to get over himself.
Okay. And last question, what do you work as exactly?
I'm a security guard for a warehouse.
Okay. A security guard. All right.
I'm a security guard.
Alright, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that you thought that in this case, everything that was happening to the defendant was merely by chance, right? So is it your testimony that
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside of the scope of cross. We did not, in our direct examination, say anything about having Meursault being at the murder a just chance.
Your Honor may be heard?
Yes.
Your Honor, outside the scope of cross is an objection only brought up through redirect when cross-examination is when redirect is bringing up information outside the scope of cross. However, in cross-examination, the objection would be outside the scope of direct, which is an objection that does not exist. May I continue? Thank you. So, Alexa, you would agree to drink coffee in front of your mother. And at the same time, you began smoking in front of your dead mother's body, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance does not nothing to do with the case.
Your Honor, may I be heard? Your Honor, the fact that this witness smoked in front of his mother's dead body has plenty of weight in this case to show this witness's disrespectful attitude to his own mother. He smoked in front of his own mother's corpse without a care that his deceased mother was laying feet before him.
Your Honor, may I speak? The fact that the way that Meursault wanted to deal with the death of his mother is his own business, and this has nothing to do with the case at hand.
Your Honor, may I be heard? Your Honor, the case at hand is not a dispute whether or not this witness murdered an Arab. In this case, we already know that it is stipulated that this witness killed a person. Now we are establishing motive, which is derived from character. And in this case, we have to analyze all the facts that we have with this witness's character in order to come to a conclusion about why this witness acted the way they did on the day of the beach. And in order for that to happen, I must ask this witness questions prior to the incident to establish prior incidents of conduct to prove conformity therewith, which means that if this witness acted a certain way on a certain incident, they also acted that way on the day of the crime. Therefore, this line of questioning is relevant.
Your Honor, may I speak? Premeditation cannot be proved in any way about murdering an Arab through the way he acted on his mother's funeral.
Your Honor, I submit for ruling. I've made my point.
Me too.
You require assistance. No problem. Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand upon the Bible. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Camus. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please tell the court a little bit about yourself?
Bonjour, I am Thomas Perez. I am an old friend of Madame Meursault. I was given permission by the caretaker to take part in the funeral procession. It is a rather childish sentiment, but we were almost inseparable. Madame Meursault and I took her death quite hard, you see. We were close, and it is never easy to lose someone that significant in your life.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. A little help here, please.
Hey. Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the book. You swear to tell the truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, Camus.
I do.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
How do you know Meursault?
I am his neighbor, and we live in the same apartment complex. So,
How long have you known Meursault?
I'm not quite sure how long exactly, but I know that I've known him for quite some time now. I was friends with his mother.
How is Meursault as your neighbor?
He's a quiet man. He doesn't talk very much, but, you know, he's there.
Unlike a gun, it cannot be used from afar. The defendant pulled out his gun and shot 5 times at a person. 5 times, Your Honor, to kill one person. one would have sufficed. But the defendant chose to do it 5 times, indicating his motive and his intent to take a life that day. And his only explanation, which he said minutes ago, it just happened. I don't know. Because of a sun that was billions of miles away. Your Honor, this case boils down to 5 things. The 5 valid prosecution witnesses over 5 of the defendant's conscious bullets to take a life. On that day, the defendant was aware that he was knocking 5 times on the door of unhappiness. Your Honor, yesterday my co-counsel, Mr. Liu, got up and told you that the prosecution had a burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was guilty of second-degree murder. And today, we have met that burden.
Shined his knife at the defendant. He became scared for his life and unconsciously, in a fight or flight situation like this, shot the Arab. Having no prior relationship with the Arab and no animosity towards him, the crime was nothing more than an act of self-defense. The prosecution has obviously not met its burden of proof, and now it is up to you, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to please consider the evidence and make the verdict of whether or not the defendant is guilty. Keep in mind, this case revolves around the number 5. 5 shots, 5 unqualified witnesses.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, so I have to make sure everyone's here. So we have everyone here, correct? Yes. Yeah. So before we go into any deliberation, I'm going to take a poll of our views. So how many of us are for the prosecution? And how many of us are for the defense?
I'm on the fence.
Okay, so let's discuss all the evidence that we've had presented before us. So we do know that Meursault did commit murder. That's one thing. And our main focus here is whether or not this murder was premeditated or not. So does anyone have any points that they want to point out?
I don't think it was premeditated because, well, he didn't go to the beach thinking like he was gonna kill the man. He just went to the beach because he wanted to go by the thing and get away from the sun.
Yeah, he said he wanted to clear his head.
One thing that I took notice was there was a constant mention of whether or not Meursault was the first one to pull out the weapon. Now, it does mention that, or Meursault does mention that he was blinded from the reflection of the knife. So would you think that he wasn't the only one who brought out a weapon himself? Like, there was also another weapon attack.
Yeah, it was illegal.
That proposes second.
Sound good?
The jury has deliberated and unanimously decides to find Monsieur Meursault innocent of first-degree murder, guilty of voluntary manslaughter, and proposes second